Let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you did something for no reason other than it felt real? Not quick, not convenient, not instantly rewarding, but real. The truth is, most people today don't know the difference between what feels good and what's actually good for them. Every day, we wake up and plug into a system that's designed not to nourish us, but to numb us. A system built to keep us comfortable, distracted, and dependent. You check your phone before you even brush your teeth. You scroll while you eat. You multitask your way through the day, overstimulated, underwhelmed, and yet you call it living. We've been taught to chase what excites us, but no one taught us how to sit with ourselves, to be still, to feel discomfort without reaching for a fix. And that's the point. You're not failing to focus because you're weak. You're failing because the environment around you is engineered to hijack your brain's reward system. Every ping, every swipe, every bright red notification isn't random. It's calculated. You think you're making choices, but are you? Or are you simply reacting to the menu they gave you? The problem isn't that we crave pleasure. It's that we've been taught to expect it without cost, without effort, without meaning. Let's be honest, your attention is not yours anymore. You've outsourced it. And the price? It's higher than you think. Your habits are no longer designed by your values. They're dictated by algorithms. Your choices, filtered through platforms that study your every move, not to empower you, but to profit from your impulses. They don't need to control you with force. They just need to keep you busy. Busy consuming, busy reacting, busy avoiding the hard questions about who you really are. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If you stopped numbing yourself for even a day, if you faced the silence, the boredom, the stillness, you'd realize how lost you really feel. And they can't afford that. They can't afford a generation that thinks clearly, that questions, that walks away from the buffet of cheap dopamine. So they sell you convenience as progress, entertainment as freedom, comfort as happiness, and you buy it. Not because you're foolish, but because your mind was never trained to resist it. You have a powerful machine inside your head, one capable of building empires, healing trauma, and making sense of chaos. But here's the catch. It's ancient. Your brain evolved in a world of scarcity. In that world, pleasure was a signal of survival. But now, pleasure is everywhere, and your brain can't tell the difference between what's meaningful and what's just novel. That's why you're exhausted after hours of watching meaningless content, but still crave more. That's why a like on social media can feel more satisfying than a genuine conversation. It's not your fault. It's your biology being exploited. And unless you learn how to see through it, unless you train your mind to pause, reflect, and resist, you will remain a slave to the next quick hit. We're not addicted to pleasure. We're addicted to escape. Escape from boredom, from responsibility, from meaning. But here's the tragedy. What we're escaping is the very thing we need most: reality. Let's talk about what no one talks about: the slow erosion, the quiet collapse of your mind's strength. Every time you reach for your phone instead of finishing what you started, every time you abandon a relationship because it's not exciting anymore, every time you avoid a challenge because it doesn't bring instant results, you weaken something deep inside you, something ancient, something irreplaceable. You weaken your ability to commit, to focus, to love, to lead. Pleasure without meaning chips away at discipline, and discipline is the foundation of a fulfilled life. Not the life that feels good in the moment, but the one that feels right in the long run. And let's be honest, you feel it. You feel the emptiness after the binge. You feel the fatigue after the scroll. You feel the hollowness of achievements earned with shortcuts. We all do, but most people are too distracted to admit it. But here's where it gets interesting. Because once you see the trap, you can start escaping it. Not all at once, but moment by moment. Every time you resist the urge to escape, every time you stay with the boredom, every time you do the hard thing instead of the easy one, you reclaim your mind. That's real freedom. And real freedom isn't sexy. It's not convenient. It's not loud. It's you choosing to think before reacting, to wait before rewarding, to endure before escaping. And the more you do it, the stronger you become. You begin to enjoy solitude. You begin to build things that last. You begin to notice beauty in the mundane. And most importantly, you become dangerous to the system that profits from your weakness. Because a focused mind is hard to manipulate. A patient soul is hard to provoke. A person who chooses meaning over pleasure is a threat to any system built on distraction. Let me explain something about power. It's not about control over others. It's about mastery over yourself. And self-mastery begins with the ability to regulate desire, to separate the feeling from the action, the impulse from the intention. This is what psychologists call delayed gratification, the root of every major success story. The difference between those who build empires and those who scroll through them. But here's the key. It's not just about saying no. It's about saying yes to something greater. Yes to growth. Yes to purpose. Yes to pain, when that pain leads somewhere. Pleasure isn't evil, but uncontrolled pleasure is sabotage. The more you chase it without restraint, the less joy you feel. It's a paradox, and it's killing our generation's potential. So how do we break free? We begin by doing what is rare, what is difficult, what is uncomfortable. We practice the lost art of being bored. We sit with discomfort without reaching for a fix. We make commitments, and we honor them. Not because we feel like it, but because we said we would. That's character. That's power. You start replacing artificial highs with real fulfillment. You start choosing books over noise, depth over novelty, silence over chaos. And slowly you begin to remember what it feels like to be alive. Not distracted, not overstimulated, but deeply, vividly alive. This isn't about rejecting pleasure. It's about elevating it. Because when pleasure is earned, it nourishes. When it's instant, it empties. You have to understand this. Your mind is a battlefield, and every moment you resist the urge to escape, you're winning. The war isn't against the world. It's against the part of you that settles, that gives in, that chooses comfort over calling. That part doesn't want to be destroyed. It wants to be led. So, lead it. Create a system that works for you, not against you. Set boundaries. Limit inputs, seek meaning, build rituals that restore your focus and your fire, because your life is too valuable to be wasted in a maze of distraction. And now we come to the moment that matters most, the choice. You've heard the truth. You've felt the weight of it. But none of that will matter if you walk away unchanged. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware. Start small, but start now. Because every time you resist cheap pleasure, you strengthen your inner authority. And eventually, you'll no longer need motivation. You'll have discipline. You'll have vision. You'll have control. And that's what this is really about. Taking back control of the one thing that can't be replaced, your mind. So here's what I want you to do. If you felt this message in your bones, don't just nod and scroll away. Leave a comment below. Write, I reclaim my mind. Make it public. Make it real. Because that's your first step toward freedom. And if this hit home, subscribe. Not for more feel-good fluff, but for hard truths that wake you up. Because the mind, once stretched by a new awareness, never returns to its old dimensions. Welcome to the beginning of the end of your distraction.